Talking about the parable of the Good Samaritan today. You've probably heard this story in some form or another, regardless of your church background, but I think the point that Jesus is trying to get to in this parable is he's teaching us how to be a neighbor, like how we should treat people. So this is Jesus speaking to a lawyer, and the lawyer asks Jesus, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus says, "What's in the law? How do you interpret it?" The man says, "Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus says, "You are correct. Do these things and you will live." Pressing on a little further, the man says, "Who is my neighbor? If the standard is love God, love neighbor, who then is my neighbor?" Jesus responds with this parable. So the parable is about a man who was overtaken by robbers. He was robbed and then left for dead. A priest came on that same road where the man was robbed, and he sees him in the distance, and he decides, you know what, I'm going to go around the other side of the road and pass the man. A Levite in the same scenario comes, sees the man, passes on the other side of the road. And then a Samaritan, that's an important part of this story, a Samaritan sees the man and he has compassion on him. The Samaritan stops, he bandages his wounds, he put him on his own animal, and he takes him to an inn. He uses his own money, and he pays for the stay, and tells the innkeeper to take care of the man, and that when he returns, he would pay any other expenses that were needed. The Samaritan was moved by his compassion. His compassion propelled him into action. But here's the thing, Samaritans and Jews were not even supposed to associate with each other. Like, it was looked down upon to associate with a Jew if you were a Samaritan, but the Samaritan did not care. He said, no, my compassion is compelling me to stop. I don't care about background, social barriers. I'm going to stop and help the man. In light of that, Jesus asked the lawyer, who then proved to be a neighbor to the man who was robbed? And the lawyer says, the one who had mercy. Jesus says, you go then and do likewise. He's teaching us how to be a neighbor, how to treat people. See, neighbors don't care about skin color. Neighbors don't care about ethnic background or any social barriers. Neighbors love, neighbors serve, neighbors are selfless. Neighbors have the standard. They love God and they love neighbors. So as they love God more than anything else in the world, that love then comes through them and it goes out into the people around them. So today, let's go be like the Samaritan and be a neighbor.